Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, including Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, and Rick and Morty. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hello.
And Brit Falcon.
Hello.
Today we'll be discussing the latest episode of Gravity Falls, the Stanchurian Candidate. We will be covering every episode of Gravity Falls. It looks like the next one's actually going to be pretty soon on September 7th. So that's pretty good. We're getting one every about 2 weeks right now. Obviously, spoilers for this episode and all of Gravity Falls within. And you can check us out on everything about this podcast on overlyanimated.com. So let's get right into this. Delaney, what did you think of the Stanchurian Candidate?
I thought it was great, and I definitely wasn't expecting, Gideon to, come back. So that was, and I've been, I didn't want Gideon to come back because I hate Gideon, but I was also yes, Gideon's back. Yay.
It seems like a complicated relationship with Gideon you got.
Yeah, who doesn't have a complicated relationship with Gideon? And I have to give a shout out to my brother who was texting me during this, and right when Gideon was about to do the spell, my brother was like, "Oh my god, is he gonna summon Bill?" And I'm like, "How did you predict that 20 minutes before the episode ended?" So my brother just got me all sorts.
Yeah, that was. How did you predict that? That was just super random at the end.
So it's me and over the garden wall. My brother and Gravity
Yeah,
Falls.
there you
I don't
go.
know what's going on.
So you liked it though overall?
Oh yeah, no, it's really great. I enjoy things I'm just a sucker, I guess, for tropey things, like the whole candidate episode thing, and it was great, and Stan, and I really liked how they handled the mind control in this episode, and obviously we're going to get to that in more detail
we'll talk
later.
about that in detail later, yeah.
I loved it.
Britt, what did you think of this?
I liked it. I thought it was a decent episode. It wasn't my favorite, especially coming off the last episode, which was so amazing. But it was good. It was a standard episode. It was fun.
Yeah, standard.
I laughed.
You laughed, yeah.
I laughed.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that this one was, it's somewhere between okay and good. I think it's closer to okay. It's maybe a 5.5 out of 10. This is as bad as narratively as Gravity Falls has been in quite a while. It's the plot developments were they happened fast, kind of illogically, and they were completely predictable, and it didn't make for the most fulfilling episode. It was one where it was that being said, the developments in terms of Gravity Falls plot that happened were kind of surprising. I didn't expect Gideon to come back. I didn't expect the ending, although apparently Delaney's brother predicted the ending, and with the spell. And I didn't expect Stan to end up losing the election, which is interesting because you always expect it to revert back to the way it was before. But I actually thought this episode would have a point in that Stan would win, but no, apparently he gets disqualified at the end.
He's a criminal.
It was also kind of funny, though.
It was funny,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
funny. I thought that part was hilarious. At least, teaching bears to drive. I honestly thought that was funny.
Teaching bears to drive. Yeah, no.
Imagine if you tried, though. What would happen?
Lamacide,
that was another good one, yeah. The episode didn't lose the humor, for sure. It had it, and this show is, at this point, is not going to have a not funny episode. But at the same time, it's kind of predictable humor. It's joke kind of plot thing that happens, joke, and I'm a little bit tired of this type of episode from the show. The show can do better than this. The pacing was terrible, and the narratively it was one of the worst since early season 1. And it's not a bad episode overall, despite these kind of harsh criticisms, because the show's good enough that it can the humor can elevate even a mediocre narrative episode. But it was certainly not what I'm looking for from this show at this point, which I think is one of the best on television. This is not a good example of the show being the best on television, in my opinion.
I think this kind of episode, though, I don't know, I'm not...
Episode.
Yeah, and those are things, we had to have an episode kind of like this to further the plot. And I understand that we can have an episode like this and it can be higher quality. I don't know, I just thought it was I just thought it was great. I don't know, obviously I can criticize, and I understand, I don't know, I'm just not as... I like this way better than the Rick and Morty episode that we talked about earlier.
That's interesting. Yeah, I thought last night's Rick and Morty episode was better than this one. Yeah, and I was not very high on that episode. I mean, it's fine. I mean, we can disagree on it, but like, and I also don't, as you alluded to, I don't like the excuse of we need this type of episodes. I'd respond like that, but it's but last time's episode with Dungeons and More Dungeons was a better version of this completely.
It was funnier.
It was completely fun. It was much funnier, and its narratively, it was kind of interesting. It was also maybe more suited to my taste, maybe, than this one. But I like political stuff too. This one just
there was no political satire in this episode. Like, this was just like.
Other than the occasional Reagan joke, it was really
the Reagan joke were great.
Which wasn't really even satirizing anything. It was just there, But like, what's really interesting about this episode functioned right now within like the state of the world, I guess, is that like this is Stan running as a candidate, and they tried to use the social media wise on Twitter and stuff is really interesting in the context of Donald Trump's candidacy, because it's like Stan is Donald Trump in this episode. It's great.
Yes.
He's the whole point is that he's just speaking his mind for whatever he feels like, and that's totally what Trump is doing. And Stan's like this.
And he's a meme.
He's like a meme. He's like this terrible businessman or something. And I don't know if they obviously weren't intending this to be Trump. I think because they go in production on these episodes like a year ago, but it was very relevant. And I mean, it was disappointing that they didn't get into the political satire from that angle. But like, I think this episode is even better than it should be because of that relevance, if that makes sense. Like,
no,
it was more interesting now.
Which I think, I mean, I don't know how they plan, like, how things are airing, but, like, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, granted, I think they probably could have figured out that this was going to air at some time near, like, all of this happening. Like, election stuff. Election stuff always starts like this, and, like, Also, I don't know if you guys saw the ad that Disney XD played. Like, they were playing, like, mock. I know sometimes they put stuff on Gravity Falls on YouTube, but it was like a joke campaign video paid for by Bud.
Oh, interesting.
About like how terrible of a candidate Stan was. It was great. So I don't know if anyone like that. Was
no,
great.
I didn't see it on the commercials, but I did see the kind of Twitter stuff that they did with this, and they did a good job of promoting this episode. Yeah, it was kind of half
a legit like campaign commercial. It was awesome.
That's cool. Yeah. The one before we can go through specifics in a minute. One more criticism, as if I haven't enough yet, is that the character motivations in here were very transparent and predictable. I think, which is a little bit par for the course with this show. Predictable is fine. It's good. The show is Alex Hirsch is very good at integrating character motivations and character moments into kind of every episode, in spite of this being like a fantasy mystery show, right? He's been like the Not What He Seems was just an incredible example of how to make an episode about characters, even though ostensibly it's completely a plot and mystery. And this one, and he's been doing it every week, and he's doing a great job of it. This is one of the least successful attempts, I think. It's just very obviously Stan motivated by living up to Ford and jealousy and stuff like that, and it's very apparent throughout the whole episode, and kind of uninteresting.
I will say, I actually do have a criticism, a big one. Mm-hmm. The major weakness of this episode is like Dipper and Mabel. Like they're actually a weakness in this episode, which I think is definitely a problem.
Dipper and Mabel are kind of like irrelevant. Like they're also not really they're also not really people in this one.
No, kind of
it's very odd
to themselves.
Yeah,
it's weird. Like they rarely.
Yeah, it's not required. They didn't have much dialogue. They didn't have much screen time or like anything.
They were literally the damsels in distress in this episode.
They were, yeah. Dipper included for sure, and it was. It's not like we need heavy Dipper and Mabel to have a good episode. It's just that's just also a thing, you know.
It's an odd thing. I don't think we've had an episode really like this where it's like Dipper and Mabel take such a backseat, except for the Tale of Two Stands.
Yeah, and even I think Tale of Two Stands was even a stronger Dipper and Mabel episode than this one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think, granted, that episode it makes a lot more sense than this episode where it's like they were literally running the campaign and. They were props.
I will say though that Dipper and Mabel's character designs in this episode were maybe the best of the entire show.
They were so great.
They both were adorable in there.
I couldn't get over Dipper. Like I couldn't get over it.
Why was he voluntarily wearing this? I feel like he would object to that.
Great.
I don't know, but it was.
And they like matched the tie. I was like, this is too much, guys. Stop.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, let's get to specifics. Mostly jokes, I think, because don't necessarily need to recap the plot. I don't know. I feel like the jokes are more important than the plot elements here.
Yes.
We have Mabel. Mabel needed a place to put her milk and push it in Stan's slippers.
So funny.
I don't understand.
I enjoy they leave him notes.
Yeah,
Love Mabel.
Yeah, it's love Mabel. It's great. Her notes are great. Yeah. Dipper needed to make a planetarium suit for Seuss, so he took the light bulb. Interesting.
Never explained what happened to the suit.
Yeah, we never
explained. I'm really disappointed.
So Stan goes out for a light bulb, and we
Because
get Robbie being hilarious, which is unexpected. He's probably gonna pay with like pennies and war bonds. Oh my god, Robbie! War bonds is great. Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
Since when is Robbie funny? That's great.
So good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not unhappy that Robbie is funny. It's just unexpected.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Susan's like, joke's on you. I was actually going to shoplift this. Yeah. Or Stan is like that. Yeah.
And then.
Then he gets thrown out. Yeah.
No, he doesn't get thrown out. He gets the crap beat out of him.
Oh, he gets the crap beat out of him. Yeah.
Open light bulbs.
Plot of the episode: the mayor is dead, who we saw last time, I think. Right? We got like
he put Gideon in big fat adult prison.
Yes, he did. He said
that
he put Gideon in actual adult prison. You know, despite the fact that there's just arts and crafts and stuff as it's presented later.
You have that in real prison. Make sure you don't get too angry.
But yeah, that's true. Raised by.
Have you seen Orange Is the New Black, Dylan?
I have not actually, but yeah, he was.
Okay, I haven't either.
I
Wow.
got you, Brit.
Okay, you got her, even though she doesn't actually know. That's good.
Yeah.
The mayor was raised by bears and possibly started World War One.
That was
yeah.
the World War references in this episode were completely unexpected and great. Like they were just so quality, and possibly started World War One. So good.
The news anchors are happy for real news. Finally, she's
just
crying.
sobbing.
Yeah, I did like the news anchors in this one. I don't know if we've seen them before.
We have.
Yeah, we have.
Mm-hmm. Then maybe the worst part of the episode, though. I talk about it every Gravity Falls episode. This time we got the shortened theme song.
That's the worst part.
That's not acceptable. Gravity Falls has the best theme on television, I think, probably. I mean, Steven Universe has a great theme too, but Gravity Falls, such a good theme, and we cannot shorten it. I'm sorry.
Oh,
that being said, I kind of understand why, considering how rushed every plot thing that happened in this episode was. Also,
commercial breaks were just killing me.
I should say that Disney XD airing these is really bad. It's like 3 minutes commercial, 3 minutes commercial, 3 minutes commercial, and then 10 minutes. Right? It's not.
So I'm like, Disney, stop.
I mean, we kind of have to watch it live for the podcast, but I would probably not purposely watch it live, not TiVo'd. Yeah. They have a mayor replacement meeting, and we see Bud Gleeful. Did you remember his name? I did not. I mean, we certainly got it enough here, but it has been a while since we've seen Gideon or Bud. Yeah.
I was just like, it's Gideon's dad.
Yeah. He goes...
he has the name.
Yeah, I didn't know it either. Yeah.
Exactly, Brit. Exactly.
He does now, though. He goes all Oprah on us with "You get half off a car," which is pretty great.
That was great. Oh,
It's like that's a joke that should be funnier than it was. I think because if you actually think about it, it like is funnier. It's actually like really. It's actually really clever because the Oprah's thing is you get a car, and he's like a car salesman, so you get half off a car. Yeah, it's actually a very clever joke, but I don't know. Maybe I think probably my favorite joke of the episode, Tad Strange, the typical guy. And then he just appears randomly throughout the episode. He loves bread, he says.
Bread. Yeah, he loves bread.
His
We're
voice.
Gonna get married, me and Ted.
You and Tad Strange, is he your type of guy?
I ship it. I'm here for you.
You decided the second he came on screen, it was like, yes.
Do you also love bread?
Yes, I do. I do love bread.
Gleeful says, I don't know how to respond to that. Gleeful to Stan, his head is more ears than face. I like that. And I like how Dipper plays off that later. Stan says he wants to be remembered instead of being a crooked whatever. What do you say, businessman? He's now wants to be a crooked mayor.
Yeah.
It's good.
He
And
didn't want to be a crooked grifter. He wanted to be
crooked grifter. Yeah, I like the return of Grifter. Yeah,
Yeah.
Grifter at large from Not What He Seems, whatever. Yeah, he's committed, or the one before that. I don't know. Dipper gets talks about Stan not being an ideal candidate. He's committing voter fraud right now.
That was good.
I always love those type of jokes. Yeah.
Right now.
Right? Just why is he stuffing ballots? That wasn't even their election system. They don't even vote with ballots.
The mythology of this episode is like, what even is gravity falls?
Yeah.
What even?
I do love the
They haven't voted. They haven't
voted in 100
had
years.
to vote
Yeah.
for a mayor in like
A century.
almost a century.
Yeah.
So they're a little.
It
bad
makes
at
sense.
It.
Yeah.
They were gonna make Mount Mayor more, so like, they're crazy.
Yeah. Spread the word pig. We get Wendy, who says spread the word pig.
Wendy
Yeah.
for like 20 seconds.
We get Wendy and Waddles both for like 20 seconds. We've been
Finally,
having
Waddles has been saved. We have a sighting on Waddles.
Waddles withdrawal. I don't know. He might have ran off at the end though. So Wendy sends him off.
I changed my blog name to save Waddles. Like it's real.
I mean, does this mean he's saved now?
Is he? I don't know. Is he actually? I mean, he wasn't there. Like until I get quality screen time with Waddles.
Okay. Stan has an interview with the T-Man, who's obviously Toby. Yeah, it's great. Toby Determined, pretty great character still. Stan says the flag has too many stripes. He says he would want...
I can take it or leave it. It has too many stripes. Who says that?
He says that that he wants to teach kids swears, and then later they have a meme of one does not simply teach kids swears.
Too meta.
Lovely.
Too meta.
Thanks, guys.
This is the only show that will have memes on in an episode,
And it not be stupid.
It was kind of stupid, but it was great. Yeah,
It's
well,
funny though.
yeah.
It wasn't like
And it wasn't like an ancient meme. A lot of times, if it happens on a TV show, like that meme has been dead forever.
This meme is ancient at this point. I will say that.
I don't. I mean, I still see it around sometimes. So maybe it's not. It's
Well,
not
it's
as
still
ancient as it is.
used. It's still used by dumb people, but it is very ancient. It's very old. And then we get Stan wants to speak his mind, and he is literally Donald Trump.
Yes.
Do we?
still less racist and misogynistic.
He is, yeah. Well, he's fairly misogynistic this episode, but it's less than Trump. That's true. Do we think Stan would do better in the Republican primary than in the Gravity Falls mayor election?
Probably.
Probably, yeah. Because I mean, maybe he's not extreme enough. I guess that's the problem.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know.
Then we have the whole thing with the mind control tie. This is when the episode starts moving incredibly fast plot-wise in kind of a bad way. Which Ford says it was a prototype for Ronald Reagan's Masters.
Oh, that was so good.
What?
So funny.
It's cracking up.
I mean,
So
yeah,
good.
if the show is has the show done Ronald Reagan jokes before? I feel like it has.
I feel like it has too.
I
Yeah.
feel- one or two others, definitely.
If it's gonna name a president,
I'm always game for Ronald Reagan jokes. Always.
you're always game for Ronald Reagan jokes. I agree. Yeah. Then it'll make Stan literally a talking head. Yeah, that's kind of it wasn't really a joke, but it's kind of clever. Yeah.
So if he just casually has this in his drawer, like of course he does.
Yeah, and he just gives it off to Dipper. Now, this episode only makes sense after the last episode, obviously, with Ford and Dipper's bonding.
And then Ford's like, "You go off, crazy kid. I'm busy. Bye." Like I don't care that you're gonna go mind warp my brother.
Yeah, I would say this episode was surprisingly normal, like the normal set of circumstances, considering that we now have Ford in the mix. Like last week was too, but Ford was very present. This week it's just like a normal episode, right? So it's like the dynamics not changed that much, I guess.
Light bulb.
Yeah. He puts the ever-burning light bulb that makes their skin softer, yeah. We have the speeches, and
It's good stuff.
first up
So good.
is Tyler, cute biker, who says, prosperity, get it? Yeah, everything, get it?
His speech is my favorite thing.
It's great,
So
yeah.
good.
To a certain extent, this episode is like kind of dumb because it's just them taking all their normal gags and putting it in an election context. But like this was them, even despite that, this was successful. Like Tyler Kuepiker making it, yeah.
No, like in his speech, I was like, I want him to win. Like I know Stan, I should want Stan to win, but no, I wanted him to win, and I ended up getting what I wanted. Not what I wanted.
I hope we see more, Tyler Kuepiker now. And
I want him to go around doing mayor things. It's a great.
Do they bring in
doing mayor?
I mean, yeah, they have to bring in Will Forte to record that every time they do that. Will Forte's like probably busy now, so I don't know how they get him every time, but it's good. Stan makes the speech. He's kind of like goes off between controlled and not controlled by Dipper and Mabel, who we barely mentioned in this outline. Stan says, "What?
We didn't really talk about Seuss and how much it messed Seuss up."
Oh, where was that? Did I skip that?
Yeah, because that's like when they test out the tie.
Yeah. No,
because Dipper gets it. And then...
Oh yeah, they test. Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have anything to say about that. We have a better Seuss moment later, though. Yes.
I'm just saying. Well, my thing was I was really happy with like how the mind control was like.
Oh yeah, talk about that. Yeah, why did you like how the mind control worked?
One, they were shown like typically in a I say kids show, but like generally when we do mind control things, unless it's something like Doctor Who, you don't really get a negative to mind control. It just like happens, like haha, joking, we had mind control. But like I really liked how like it was depicted and how like this mind control and was later paralleled with, and it was literally the same thing with the spell and Gideon, but it looked the same. Mm-hmm. And like I just thought that was really like good and like it's both are bad, and then Seuss actually getting like sick. How that was like definitely like an invasion. I don't know. I just enjoy things like that.
Mind control has consequences. Yes, it's
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was.
It was very visual, and I enjoyed it.
You get more quote unquote realistic mind control from here than an actual sci-fi show. Yeah, right.
Yeah. She made him eat a pine cone. I was like,
very Mabel. Yeah. So the rest of the speech, Stan's speech, when he cuts back in, he says, "You may know me as the guy who let loose those bees in the elementary school those years ago, 5 years ago, or whatever." Yeah. Very, very Stan. And he's but then Dipper makes him say he's all ears, which I think is clever.
That was a good thing.
Dipper and Mabel should run presidential campaigns.
They should, yeah.
Just be a breakdancing contest. I'm game.
Breakdancing contest. We get I forgot his name already. Gideon's dad, Blood Gleeful. In we learn that Gideon is his campaign manager from jail. He's finger painting at the same time as something else. The plan is to pardon Gideon when Gleeful becomes mayor, which I guess makes sense, right? And then he has the possession incantation because he had ripped out one page of the book and kept it with him. I don't know.
In his hair.
In his hair? Do we buy this that he would still have a page of the book?
In his hair, yeah definitely. For sure.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure.
His hair's so big.
I might be the only person, but I'm just like, Gideon, calm down. You're like 10.
The thing with Gideon is like I feel like they kind of ran him into the ground in the first season when he was on, so I was fine with the show not having him for a while, and I guess if he's going to be in one more episode after this,
it wasn't as bad at least because it was through Bud and it wasn't so like, oh my god, I'm going to vomit your terrible Southern accent that makes you want to like die.
How does he have a Southern accent? He lives in freaking Oregon. I don't understand.
It's because it's the whole cutesy. Oh, it makes me so mad. Anyway, I can literally like 2 hours about it. Okay,
let's not do that though. But it's not just like that. Like he's like you're supposed to hate Gideon. I just genuinely think they've used his character too much earlier. It does seem like they're kind of just using him as a device to get Bill Cipher back into the mix, though.
I'm fine with,
which is fine.
I would be perfectly fine if they just used him for this, and then Gideon just goes
to something horrible. School. Sounds awful.
We're too deep into the mythology to have Gideon be like the main antagonistic presence in the show. Yeah.
He already was. He was like he's done.
Yeah, he was for the first season. Yeah. It's election day now. Stan walks into the diner. He's like, now the ladies, now just the ladies my age, and it's one person. yeah.
He's like,
pretty good. Stan being misogynistic. Yes, there you go. Dipper. Then this episode, Dipper inexplicably gives away the truth on the tie, like very fast.
Inexplicably? What do you mean inexplicably?
Inexplicably.
He literally shouts at a restaurant and like that.
Like for what reason is he just gonna reveal it? For no reason. Like I
was really shocked.
It's very undippery, I think. Although, I guess they tried to make it make sense in character motivation, and then it happens really fast, and the show doesn't comment on it at all. It's just not.
I guess Dipper was so. I guess what we were supposed to get out of is kind of like a Marty McFly moment. Like Dipper just got so mad.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this personally.
No.
Then they're like, we need to find someone else clueless. Happens also very fast. They just give up on Stan just very fast, and then but at least
Just completely disregard him. Like,
Yeah.
oh, well, we'll just make this dude
We'll
wrong.
just go to Seuss.
But-
I thought they were just gonna make Seuss a candidate anyway.
yeah,
the beginning.
yeah. But Sue says my head's stuck in my shirt sleeve. I guess this is my life now.
He doesn't even wear that shirt. Like, what is he doing?
That was
He
great.
wears a giant
You know, if they
sweatshirt.
wanted to be really smart, they just would have found a way to put the tie on one of the other candidates and then just controlled him forever.
Ah,
so he
yeah.
didn't win.
I guess this makes sense too, though. Just to add another candidate. They've done this Seuss. It's like who do we have that's like dumb, and it's like cut to Seuss, and he does something dumb. They've done it like 10 times, but they still find funny ways to introduce
It's still
Seuss
entertaining.
to talk about Seuss being dumb. I don't understand how they do it. We have the the question by Wendy's dad, who's like, I have a question about axes. No,
I was
wait,
really glad
taxes.
that he asked the question.
I thought it was actually
Very
about. I feel like it makes less sense that his question's about taxes than axes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's also really funny that he was reading it and he read axes. That was also like really good.
yeah. Gideon's controlling his dad now, and he can. You all talk around the issues. I can sing around the issues, which I guess is kind of clever.
I was really disturbed.
It's pretty disturbing.
I was like, why would anyone vote? Like, why?
Gideon interacting with Dipper and Mabel. This is the first time I've seen you in a while, except in my revenge fantasies, where I see you on an hourly basis.
That revenge fantasies, I think, is my favorite line in the whole episode.
That's pretty good. Yeah, on an hourly, you have hourly revenge fantasies. Gideon.
Hourly revenge, like, I think that's my favorite.
Gideon needs a hobby. Oh, God.
He made a wedding dress in crafts for.
Oh
for-
man, that was most
for
Don't
Mabel.
ask what it's made out
Don't
of.
ask what it's.
That was really good.
But then we have the plot moving insanely fast. Gideon ties them up. Stan saves the twins. The
Like,
dynamite goes off. He
like,
jumps
That
off.
was the most like tropey villainy. Like,
Oh yeah.
who are you, Gideon? Like,
I guess it makes sense that Gideon would do that because he's kind of ridiculous. But
Yeah.
He's like the definition of a trope villain. Like, everything he does
Yeah.
is just...
it's my problem is not necessarily that it's tropey. It's that just the show moves through it in like a minute, and
like they're in danger for like 30 seconds.
yeah, they're genuinely
And then
yeah.
it's over.
Stan says he wants a bigger tombstone than Ford. Like if he doesn't make it,
That was good.
And-
No, you know
That
what?
was-
Why does he rip his shirt sleeves off? Can we just talk about that for a minute? Like he does this continuously, and I don't understand.
I have no comments on this.
He's wearing
Like,
a suit,
why?
right? So, like, if you can't move your arms in a properly fitted suit.
Oh,
I guess that.
Oh.
See the shoulders.
but he does
I
it.
don't-
But he does. I just don't. He does it all the time, and like you'd think he'd get tired of ripping his shirt sleeves off. Also,
Makes him
we
look
need to
more
talk
bad.
about the '70s outfit.
Okay,
Roll
talk
back.
talk about this.
That was so atrocious. Like he just rolls out, and I'm like, he is so '70s. It pains me like physically. Like when I saw that outfit, I just in pain.
It physically pains you.
And then of course Tad, your boo, Brit, your boo was like looking good, and I was like, no, Tad, no.
Oh yeah, that's where Tad makes his another appearance.
Oh, no.
What kind of a Tad? Interesting name. I do like that type of joke where it's like they make this new character after just writing this one joke in. But then Stan actually gets a kiss from the eagle, which is kind of surprising. He's Mayor Pines, but then he's disqualified. What did you do, Stan? What didn't I do? Tyler, cute biker, is the mayor now. Good. Well, Forte mayorship. We'll take it. And they devote the rest of the newscast to listing Stan's crimes.
That was great. And did like the whole like prescription drug like side effect scroll. It was so
Yeah,
good.
it was good. Then we get the actual like plot development in the kind of credits roll thing, which is interesting. We usually just devote this to like a gag that doesn't require much animation. The Gideon cellmate was called Ghost Eyes, which I was wondering the entire time because he didn't have like pupils. And then at the end we get Gideon summoning Bill Cipher. It looks like.
Yep.
I feel like that's gonna
That
come
my
back
brother
and bite him.
called before. Of
Ye-
course it is.
Yeah.
Just
Like-
hardcore. Like I don't think Gideon. I really don't think is being set up to be the last villain of the series. Like we all know this, but I wonder how Bill Cipher is going to function as a villain. Like he wants to end the world, presumably.
He's
but
been
what
trying
is he?
so hard. He's like, you want a deal? You want to make a deal? You want to make a deal? You want to make a deal? I know
He's
you want
like
to make a
Oprah,
deal, like
with
Bill.
deals.
You're desperate. He is. He's like evil Oprah, which is actually terrifying when you think about it. Like, that's a really terrifying concept.
Evil Oprah. That's good.
And yeah, no, I'm just, and I am excited though to see a deal actually be made, because I'm like, I there's been so much build up. Like, I want to see the deal made. What's it gonna be? What terrible thing is Bill gonna trick Gideon into? Which will also be interesting because Gideon's also very clever, and like what kind of banter they might have going back and forth.
Yeah. I think the important thing is we're bringing out Bill Cipher, presumably setting up some sort of end game. I'm less convinced that the show is ending in season 2, but
Yeah.
at least we're bringing out Bill Cipher because we need to see how Bill Cipher and Ford are interacting here. That's
Oh yeah. No.
yeah. I mean, next episode, the last Mabelcorn. I didn't know that was the name. We saw previews of it on Disney XD throughout. It seems like they're going into Ford's study. And there's some sort of Bill Cipher
And
crop.
when he makes a bet.
When he makes a bet, there's some sort of Bill Cipher crop circle too. So that's 2 Mondays from now.
I think what's probably the most obvious thing that's going to happen is that Bill Cipher is just going to possess Gideon, or
Yeah.
just take his body.
I guess that's fine. I don't know.
I mean, I have to profit off of my apparent guessing skills.
Your apparent guessing skills.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's a logical conclusion to draw. I'm
let's see if they carry over.
not convinced on that one. I guess I hope we could don't focus on Gideon too much, but yeah, bring Bill into the picture, and let's get Ford doing more things. Those are the check marks for me right now.
Ideally, it could just be Bill just comes in, Gideon says one thing, and then Bill just tosses Gideon wherever. We never see Gideon again. kind of like when Zahir just tossed
Iway.
whatever Iway.
Yeah.
I thought that's what his name was, but then I thought that was I was thinking of the I just tosses him just into the. That's what's gonna happen.
That's what's yeah.
I think that'd be great. It'd be great to happen. Yay, get rid of Gideon. That sounds awful. He's a child, but still.
He's a terrible child.
He's a terrible child. He's
Yeah.
actually
Terrible.
evil.
So I get.
He's southern. It's terrible.
I'm pretty happy with the ending of this episode because it gets you kind of excited for the plot moving again after 2 pretty filler ones. I mean, also
shocked. It's a surprise. I don't think anyone except my brother apparently.
even though we had
this is gonna happen.
even though we had some of the most plotty episodes a few episodes ago and Not What He Seems, Tale of Two Stands, they didn't move the supernatural plot along too much, kind of.
We haven't
It
talked
was
about
a character plot along with.
We get this new character and we resolve Stan's stuff, but we haven't resolved the mysteries really. I mean, getting the author is resolving the mysteries, but at the same time, whatever antagonistic force Bill Cipher and stuff like that is, it's been a while since we've had anything like that. Stan was the villain for a few episodes, so it's I'm happy to see us returning to. I don't know. Maybe not. It doesn't seem like next episode
Less
it's going to
grumpy
be.
old men villains.
It's what?
Less grumpy old men villains. We're getting away from.
Now we
grumpy old
have
man
weird, weird high-pitched male-voiced Bill Cipher, though. Yeah.
Yes.
I wonder. Yeah, I'm not sure if Disney is going to be airing these
My
every
favorite
other.
project.
I wonder. I don't know how many episodes they have completed, but we got episode 15 here. Last season was 20 episodes.
Last season was 20. We're at 15.
Yeah, the fact that Alex Hirsch is still working, a few days ago, he was tweeting how he'd been in the office for 3 days straight, which is not healthy. Should not be doing that. But the fact that he's still working.
Someone give
know
him
that
some
this is-
coffee.
I mean, obviously, we would assume that the seasons would be the same, but they're not always. So there's a chance that maybe it could be we might be getting more episodes in the
Could
season.
just be a 30-episode season. I presume he's working on more than the next 5 episodes, though, is my point, right? Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Although he might not be, I don't know. But yeah, I think any last comments on the Stanchurian Candidate?
I like the title.
Yeah.
That's a good title.
I don't know if we referenced the Manchurian Candidate at all, but
What is the Manchurian Candidate?
it's a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
It's
what
a
does it
thing.
mean?
It's a thing.
Okay.
It's a
Let me here. I'll hook you
We'll
up.
just
to
we'll
it.
just
Give me a
leave it.
minute.
It's a thing. It's
It's a Cold War suspense thriller from 1962. There you go.
Yep.
fascinating.
You beat me on the Googles.
On the Wikipedia.
Yeah, you beat me.
Anyway, I guess that's all for this week's podcast. I'm Dylan Hysen. That's Brit Falcon. That's Delaney Stovall. You can find all of our social media links and everything about this podcast at overlyanimated.com. You can support us at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to our current patrons, Andy, Beatrice, Mitch, Nate, Cordell, and Shayna, which is Buzz Lightyear, Beatrix Strange, Fever Mitch, Nathan Fillion, Cordell University, and Hannah. And support the podcast, patreon.com/overlyanimated. We'll be back covering every episode of Gravity Falls in 2 weeks, I guess, which is, I guess, short for this show, but not. It's unfulfilling to have these type of episodes after like a month. It'd be worse. Yeah. It can be worse though. We've gotten like 2 months worth wait from Disney before. But yeah, last thoughts, either of you?
I'm ready for Bill Cipher. My body is ready. Where is he?
Are you excited for Cipher? Definitely excited for Cipher.
If your body is ready for Bill Cipher, I think that means you're volunteering to be possessed by him.
No.
That's like the only logical thing you can do.
I would be possessed by Bill Cipher, but we would have to be friends. Like he'd have to like.
It'd have to be like consensual. Like okay.
Okay, let's not. Okay.
We'd have to talk.
Possession. Yeah, we have to talk about it. How would Tad feel about it? Tad doesn't like weird things.
Yeah, how did your husband Tad feel about Tad? Yeah,
he'd just have to accept my life choices. Okay.
That was very weird. That was very weird, but thank you for that. Okay. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.